My name is Taiwo, and like you all know, the title of this course is Computer Workshop. This is Computer Workshop Basic Maintenance Com 203. I'll just quickly run down on our course outline. On our course outline, the areas that we're going to be touching in this course, so we can all be on the same page. So we'll start with computer components. We know what the computer, I'm sure we all know what the computer is. Then computer accessories. Then we'll move to computer power repair, how to fix power issues in your computer. Then we'll talk about how to do some basic computer troubleshooting, what to do when you have a frozen computer screen, how to repair a slow computer, how to fix errors in your printers, how to troubleshoot your scanner and the rest of them. Then we'll look at how to troubleshoot your computer softwares. Then we'll also look at basic networking troubleshooting, how to sort out your network issues, in your Internet Explorer and the rest of them. Then we'll also touch, how you protect your computer from viruses, how the basic antivirus that we know, and how to troubleshoot them also. So those are the things I'm going to be looking at in this course, and I'll try my best to see how I can quickly touch on the vitals. So, but I'll probably send you videos that you can also watch to broaden your knowledge on how to troubleshoot systems. So before I go on, let me make you understand where you will submit your assignment. I'll be giving you some assignments, and I need you to submit all assignments to this email address. The email address is taiwo@jaisurvey. For those that are not on video, it's spelled Taiwo@jai, TAIWO survey @gmail.com. And make sure you write your name, your full name, your department, your level, the center you are, and your phone number. And all assignments should be submitted before the next class. So let's dive right in. We'll start with module 1. What is a hardware? Look at what a hardware is. What is a hardware and what is a software? So I will define a computer hardware is any physical device used in or within your machine, whereas a software is a collection of code installed onto your computer's hard drive. For example, the computer monitor you are using to read this text, and the mouse you are using to navigate this web page, and and all the web applications, is your computer hardware. Whereas the internet browser that you use to browse the pages, and the operating system that the browser is running on, are considered as your computer software. So all software utilizes at least one hardware device to operate, meaning that all software needs a hardware to run. For example, a video game, which is a software, uses the computer processor, and also your memory, which is your RAM, your hard drive where your video game is loaded onto, and your video card. They need all these computer hardware devices to run. Also, your word processing software, example, is your Microsoft Word, your Microsoft Office tool, uses your computer processor, the memory, and a hard drive, to create and to save documents. So hardware is what makes your computer work. A CPU processes information, and that information or data can be stored in your RAM or in your hard drive. A sound card provides sounds for speakers, for you to hear sounds coming up on the system. And also a video card provides an image to your monitor. So each of these examples are, all called hardware components. So we look at input and output devices under your computer hardware. Your computer hardware system is divided into input and output devices. I'm sure most of you know, but for those that don't know, your input devices are the things that sends information into your computer system. And your output device, as you may also know, are devices, where information comes out from your computer system. So, for example, your keyboard sends, input data into your system automatically. It is called an input because you are using it to send information into your system. Your mouse also is an input device. Your monitor brings out information to you. That is why it is called, and that is why it is categorized into, it's categorized into, an output device. Your webcam, which receives your image and sends it to your system, is an example of an input device. Your speakers, where sounds, is picked from your system and it's, sent, to you or to your headphone, or to the outside world, is an output device. Your microphone picks sounds from you and sends it into the system. It is an input device. Your printer, is also an example of an output device. Your scanner also is an, because you receives images and sends it into the system. It is an example of an input device. So I have this, diagram showing the different types of computer accessories we have, and the area they are categorized in. This is your keyboard. This is your mouse, your scanner, your trackpad, your pen drive. These are input devices. Also your printer, your monitor, your speakers, your headphones, your projector. These are examples of output devices. You can see this ones in the middle. This one can fall in the, in the area of, it can either be an input device or an output device, because they serve both purposes. Your computer, your DVD, your CD, your flash drive. You can send information into your system. Also, you can receive information. So that is why they fall into both. So we want to now talk about what are embedded inside your system. These are devices that are your hardware devices are devices. Some of them are outside. You have the mouse, your computer monitor, your keyboard, your printer. These are hardware devices, but they are things you can see outside. But there are also hardware devices that are not seen outside, but they are part of the system. They are found inside the casing of the system. And in fact, they are one of the most important devices that make your system run properly. The first one is your computer case. This is the outer shell. The outer shell. You don't have the case, and its primary function is to keep the inside. That means the inside, the devices found inside in your system, keep them safe from outside interference, because they are very fragile. And they also need to be properly ventilated. That's why your computer case needs to be properly ventilated for air to come in. Another thing that you find inside your system is your power supply. Your power supply its function is to take power from the electrical outlet and spread it out to all your computer system, giving power to all individual parts. Your power supply comes in wattages, and that is dependent on how much hardware you have inside your system. This is an example. This is a picture of a power supply. Another example of the things you will find in your system, and the most important of them all, is your motherboard. Your motherboard is one of the most essential parts of your computer system. Why? Because it holds together many of the crucial components of the computer, including the CPU, that is your processor, the memory, and the connectors for input and output devices. Your motherboard, often referred to as your logic board or your main board, some people call it MOGO for short. It is the backbone of the computer because its purpose is to connect all parts of your computer together and make everything centralized using its printed circuit board. This is the picture of how your motherboard looks like. You can see it looks like a city. You understand? So the central processing unit, the hard drive, the memory, the graphic processing unit, the printer, and your ports all are connected, to the motherboard. Then we look at the BIOS. The BIOS essentially when your computer turns on, it needs to have some information about what is connected to it. Like the time the time or all the other computer system connected to it. Your BIOS, is the one is the device that stores them in memory. The little chip that stores them in memory. Because your computer needs them for it to function, for it to put. Then we now look at the CPU. The CPU or processor, some people call it the processor, the microprocessor. That is the next most important component. Why? Because it is called the brain of the computer. That is where all the alphanumeric, the logic, computations, go on and stores all this information in memory. Most computers today have more than one CPUs. Most of them have more than one CPU. Why? Because to help maximize potential and to help speed up processing power. Have you ever wondered what the dual core, for those of you that are a bit familiar with systems, you hear that this system is a dual core or a quad core. That means dual core means that two microprocessors working together. Quad core means 4. We have even more the I-core 3, the core I1, I3, I5, I7, and the rest of them. These are new generation processors. They are all processors, functioning together to give you speed, to give you speed for the processing of data. So, and this is an image of how your processor is. Then we'll talk about your hard drive. Your hard drive is also embedded in your computer casing. Your hard drive. Have you ever wondered where all your information goes when you enter it into a Word document and continue to save? You will save your Word document, you will save your Excel spreadsheet, you will save your your PowerPoint slide. Have you ever wondered where these things are saved? They are saved in your hard drive. They are saved in your hard drive. You understand? Your computer program, your picture, your documents, your videos, your games, they are all stored in your hard drive. That is your storage device. It is stored in your hard drive. Now we want to look at that area where you store data. Your memory, that's your random access memory. People are familiar with the word RAM, the random access memory. But you start to get a little confusion here. Differentiating between your hard drive memory and your random access memory. Like the way I used to, differentiate between both. Let us take, for example, your library where there are different books. That is, let's call your library your hard drive, where different books are stored, in different sections. Now the table that you are seated at, the table that I'm seated now, is your, let's call it your random access memory, your RAM. So when you boot your computer, your computer system, the RAM, and you now start to launch. Let's say you launch the Microsoft Office, or you launch your video game. It goes your RAM goes there, picks it in your hard drive, puts it on your table. Your video game that you launch, so because so that you can quickly, access those ones. You can use them quickly. You want them, but the downside is when you now switch up your system, everything on your RAM on that memory will be cleared away. But your hard disk, that is your main library, still holds all the information. You understand? So that is the difference between your RAM and your hard drive memory. They are both memory locations. This is the picture, an image of your RAM. We'll talk about the GPU. It's time to look at how your computer puts such beautiful visuals. It's no miracle. The graphic processing unit, often referred to as graphics card, is used primarily for 3D applications. 3D application. The NVIDIA, that is a global corporation that manufactures graphic processors, mobile technologies, and desktop computer, defines a GPU as a single chip process that aids in creating lighting effects and transforming objects every time a 3D scene is drawn. So this is the equivalent to the way you see everything you are seeing on your computer system is all controlled by your graphic card. This is an image of your video card. Optical drive. Optical drive is another thing that we will consider. Optical drive is also embedded into your computer casing, into your computer system, but they are not seen. They are embedded in your computer casing. And this is the optical drive. Optical drive. Some people call them ROM. Read-only memory. You use them to read CDs, DVDs. You understand? Use them to read your CDs, to read your DVDs. Now we want to look at your computer software. Or we want to look at your computer software. What is a software? A software basically is a set of programs which is designed to perform a well-defined function. A software is a set of programs used to design, which is designed to perform a well-defined function. You are asking, what is a program? A program is a sequence of instructions or codes. Instruction or code written to solve a particular problem. A program is a sequence of instructions or codes written to solve a particular problem. So my first question, okay, before I go into my question, let's see, there are two types of software. Basically, we have the system software and the application software. The system software and the application software. The system software is a collection of programs designed to operate, control, and extend the processing capabilities of the computer itself. The system software is a collection of programs designed to operate, control, and extend the processing capabilities of your computer system. System software is generally prepared by computer manufacturers because it is so complicated. This is more of like a high sense, high definition kind of application or software. It is high computer programmers that goes into creation of system software. This software product comprises of programs written in low-level languages which interact with the hardware at a very basic level. That means your system software needs a hardware to function. Your system software needs a hardware to function. A system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the end user. A system software serves as the interface between the hardware and the end. That means you can use your computer system because there is a system software running. There is a system software running. You can understand the operation of your hardware because of the deployment of your system software. So some examples of the system software are operating systems like your Microsoft Word, your Linux, your mobile operating systems, your operating system, that is what they call this very popular one, your Android, the former Java that we used to use, your compilers, interpreters, they are all system software. And I made a list of some prominent features of the system software. You know, a system software has to be closed to the system. That means it is closely knitted to the system. It has to be very, 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 very fast. You know, in interacting with the user. It is mostly difficult to design. It is mostly very difficult to design. That is why, you know, major high, you know, computer software manufacturers are the ones that are into, you know, production of system software. And it is very difficult to understand. It is also less interactive. It is less interactive, except when it is deployed on the hardware. It is smaller in size and difficult to manipulate, and it is written in low-level language. Now we'll look at the application software. The application software. Application software products are designed to satisfy a particular need of a particular environment. I mean, all software applications prepared in the computer lab can come under the category of your application software. Your application software may consist of a single program. Let's say for example, your Microsoft Notepad, you know, for writing and editing simple text, or in a collection of programs. Let's say your Microsoft Office software package, you know, which work together to accomplish a task such as, you know, your spreadsheet, your Excel, which you can use to compute data, your Microsoft Office, your Microsoft Word rather, which you can use to, you know, edit text, create, you know, text and the rest of them, or your Microsoft PowerPoint, which you can use to, you know, create slides, you know, for presentations. You understand? So examples of application software are the following: your payroll software for accountants, your student record software, your inventory management software, income tax software, your Microsoft Office software, the Microsoft Word, the Microsoft Excel, the Microsoft PowerPoint, you know, etc. And the features of your application software are listed below. You know, it has to also be close to the user. They are easy to design. They are more interactive. They are slow in speed compared, you know, to your system software. They are generally written in high-level language, and they are easy to understand. You know, you can easily manipulate them, and they are bigger in size because they require a large storage space. They require a large storage space. So let's quickly look at how you assemble and disassemble a PC. How you assemble and disassemble a PC. You know, how you assemble and assembling a computer system seems like a difficult job, but truly it is not that difficult if you know what you are doing. But below, let's follow the steps to properly assemble a computer system. How to assemble a computer system. One, take inventory. Before you start, take inventory of your parts. Make sure you have the following components and tools with you. You have your motherboard, you have your CPU, your heatsink, your SMPS, your hard drive, your DVD, your DVD-ROM, either one, your RAM, your CMOS battery, your casing, and a good screwdriver. Then make space and make time. Building a PC takes space. Then make sure you have a good space, you know, well enough for you to put all the parts that you need. You know, have all your drivers ready. Your motherboard comes bundled with a CD containing all drivers. Make sure that this CD is available before you start assembling. In case the CD is missing, and assuming you don't have another PC with an internet connection, download download this driver from the vendor's website. 2, install the motherboard. Install the motherboard. Install the motherboard. Great care should be taken when installing the motherboard. First thing, take the board out of its packing, where the motherboard is packaged, and put it on, top of the anti-static bag it came with. Remember, you always want to safeguard your components because they are very fragile. Those components on your motherboard are very fragile. So you want to safeguard them. Before you secure the motherboard to your PC chassis, inspect it carefully. Look at it carefully. Next, review the motherboard manual. Don't think you know. There is a manual that always comes with the motherboard. Use that manual. It will tell you all the things you need to know. Where the screws are supposed to be placed, the things that you need to do. Make sure that you check your manual. Make sure you check your manual before you place the motherboard into the case. When you now place the motherboard into the case, one, some PC cases have a removable motherboard tray. If yours does, remove these screws holding it in place and pull it out of the case. Remove this PC case. Some PC cases may come with their own screw. Remove those screws so you can place your motherboard properly. Like I said, be careful. Be careful. Your motherboard is very fragile. Once anything gets spot on it, then your motherboard is gone forever. Note the pattern of the holes in your motherboard and screw the brass standoffs into the motherboard tray. Check the layout of the socket on the motherboard and confirm that the ports on your motherboard's back panel match the holes on the case input and output. Carefully position the motherboard on the brass standoff. Carefully position it. 4. Now install your processor. The first thing you want to do is install your microprocessor. That is your micro. Install it. Like the way you might install your microprocessor, I'm going to send you a video of how to do it. Use the unlocking, like an unlocking mechanism that will key in the processor. There is a space provided for it. Then install the CPU heatsink. Because of how delicate the microprocessor is, that the CPU, it generates heat, so that always a fan that cools that CPU. Install it also. Then install your memory, your RAM. Install your RAM. Then connect the power supply. Connect the power supply before you now connect your keyboard, your mouse, and your monitor. Now install the drives. That is your hard drive, your hard disk. Install it, and install the add-in cards, all the PCI slots, and the rest of them. Install them. Then you can now turn the computer on. That is the way you assemble your system. So I'm going to give you an assignment now. Your assignment is write a short note on the generation of computers. Write a short note on computer generation. I'm sure you know the first generation, second. If you go online, I'm sure you get material. Write it and send it to my email, to the email provided, here. The email is taiwoajayisurvey@gmail.com. 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 And make sure you write your full name, your department, your level, your center and your phone number, and make sure you submit your assignment before the next class. Before the next class. Make sure you submit before the next class. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you in our next class. Thank you.